Hey YouTube fam, it's your girl Leah back again with another video. In today's video, as you can see from the title, is a two-parter. One, I'm coming on here celebrating that your girl has finally hit or crossed over 90,000 subscribers. That's right. I've been 5 digits away from 100,000 for so long that it finally feels good to be only 4 digits away. Now that 4 digits is a high number, but I feel like it feels so good to be finally one step closer to the plaque, the 100,000 subscriber plaque. But today's video, overall, the general message of it is bringing you the equipment that I have bought from Amazon. Everything that I use to record, to edit, to film, everything that I use is from Amazon. I realized that in a most recent video, and I decided why not make a video where I dedicate to all the items that I've purchased from Amazon that I feel like would be amazing for anybody out there who is trying to get started on YouTube. Again, I'm a very cheap person, but I think a lot of the things that I present, whether it be my home or my content, isn't looking cheap. I don't like to make my content look cheap, but I like to spend affordably. I know so many content creators spend $1,000 on a lens, $1,000 on a camera, and sometimes they can't even crack, 1,000 subscribers. But I feel like I'm very fortunate and very happy that I've been able to crack over 90,000 with the equipment that you're going to see in today's video. That again, I feel like is very cheap, very affordable, and something that you want to maybe write down, put on your list, and check that description box because I will list every single item that I bought. And I also will list the price in which I bought it on the screen as I'm talking about it. Again, Amazon fluctuates prices, so it might not be exactly the same. Might be a little bit less, might be a little bit more. But again, all this is items that I've picked up over the 4 years that I've been here on YouTube creating content. So without further delay, let's just get started. And the very first items that I want to talk about, of course, the thing you have to get started on YouTube more than anything else is an actual camera. You have to film on something. You have to record on something. For the first couple of videos that you guys see on my channel, from I think it was July of 2016 to about, I'd say, October of 2016, my videos were filmed on an iPad. Not the best quality, but I feel like it definitely got me started, got me feeling comfortable on YouTube. Again, I feel like for those first couple months, you want to feel comfortable before you make the big purchases. So it's nothing wrong with using what you have just to get, yourself comfortable talking to a camera. This is really weird talking to a camera. So those first few times, you want to make sure that it's something you feel comfortable with. Then after that, I believe it was October of 2017, I bought my first ever camera. That being the Samsung NYX Mini. I love this camera. I looked up so many reviews before buying this camera, under $300 camera, but I used this from, I believe, October of 2016 to October 2018, where I amassed a great majority of my audience. Over 30,000 subscribers came from me using this camera, the Samsung NYX Mini. Again, very affordable camera, and I would still be using it to this day if the Samsung still was in the camera making game. Just to give you a demonstration of how the quality looks, I'm going to record myself doing this so you can kind of see a side by side because it's not terrible quality. So let me just turn it on. So this is what filming on the Samsung NYX Mini looks like comparably to me filming on my Canon G7X, which I'll talk about in a minute. Again, not terrible quality. Let me kind of see if I can angle the sun. Not terrible quality in terms of what it looks like. It's definitely different than the Canon camera, but it definitely got me through the first few times. And again, the lighting was a lot better in my other place, and I could manipulate it in a way that I think those first few videos where I'm using this camera, my videos look very, very good. But then in October of 2018, I bought the camera that you guys are seeing me record on right now, the Canon G7X Mark II. 2018, I decided, of course, it's the year that I wanted to kind of make some changes. It was 2 years ago, so we're in October 2020. I'm still using this camera, and it seems like October is typically the year where I upgrade cameras. I'm not going to do it this year because I really do think I get good quality from this Canon G7X Mark II camera. It's more for vlogging. It looks exactly like kind of my Samsung NYX Mini in the sense that it does have that flip up screen. So it's not your typical beauty camera as the Canon, 90D or 80D and 3MI. I never know the title of those beauty cameras that are more bulkier, but this is a very much so smaller camera, very handheld, and I very much so like this camera, and I don't have any fancy settings on it. I think I typically with all my cameras have just turned them on, recorded, and fingers crossed everything everything turned out right. And I think for the last 2 years, everything has turned out right. So I really do like this camera. But I did recently upgrade my phone, so I now have the iPhone XS. I was using the iPhone 7S for a while, which isn't a bad quality camera. But just to give you guys an overview of if you do want to start with a phone, this is what the iPhone XS camera looks like. And again, it's shooting in 4K, which is I think even higher than my camera. So let's see how this looks. I've never recorded a video on this. I literally just got this phone. Hasn't even been a week yet. So let's see how video looks on this. So this is me recording on my phone, what the iPhone XS camera looks like. I haven't done anything funky, and I'm using the back facing, so I have really no idea what it's looking like right now. So if you can see in the camera, you see what's going on here. So I'm not seeing how I'm looking. But if you do have an iPhone and you do want to record, I think this is amazing quality. I watch so many YouTubers who do record on iPhone who have 500,000, 525,000 one has, and I think the other one is well over 500,000. So again, you do not have to buy a lot. And again, buying a phone is a lot, but I needed this phone. I, of course, don't record on this phone. I needed this phone for talking and phone things of that nature. Again, it has over 500, I think I have over 500 gigs of storage on this phone, so I could record multiple videos and it'd still be great. So again, I wanted to start talking with, the initial thing that you think of with cameras. I have 90,000. I have not spent over $1,000 on a camera. I don't have fancy lenses, so there won't be a lens portion of this video because the lens I use have been the lenses that come with the camera. So again, if you're somebody who feels like I'm never going to get to a certain point, and some people can say 90,000 isn't a lot, but 90,000 is a lot for me. And for me to have gotten there with the equipment that I have, I think it says a lot and it speaks to a lot. So let's move on to the next thing, which I'll quickly hit on. It's batteries. Of course, you're going to need batteries for your device. And I always keep a spare battery. I need to plug this in right away because I keep a spare battery while I'm recording, just because the Canon G7X, comparable to my Samsung Lynx Mini, is a little bit worse on battery life. I can probably film at least 3 sit-down videos before I need to change out the battery, as opposed to my Samsung. I really never had to change the battery, and I could do probably 4 or 5 videos. So just be aware of battery life. Buy a backup battery. I bulk film, so a lot of what I'm saying is from the perspective of somebody who does film multiple videos in one day because I work full time. So I make sure I film videos on the weekend so that Monday through Friday I'm really not boggled down with filming anything. So again, get a backup battery of whatever camera you have. Again, this is a backup for the Canon G7X Mark II. I do have 2 backup batteries actually. One always sits in here, one is in my kind of bag. Again, when I'm traveling, it's very much so important for me to have a backup as well if I am vlogging. When I'm in my home, this can be plugged up, charging all good and all dandy. But if I'm somewhere where I'm not near a charger, but I do want to film that content, a lot of times if I didn't have a backup camera, I would have to always switch to my phone. And you could tell in my vlogs it'd be shot on 2 different things because it'd be like, hey, she's filming with her camera, she's filming with her phone. Just make sure you have that backup battery just so you can keep a streamlined consistency of content and the look of your videos if you want to. Again, my iPhone films amazingly, so when I go on future trips, I might just vlog with my phone and keep it at that. But again, if you're somebody who wants to use your camera for what you got your camera for, make sure you have backup batteries, as well as you want to have an SD card. Now, my SD card probably looks a little bit different than a lot of the Canon SD cards just because I, again, started off on a Samsung device. So Samsung SD cards were a lot smaller. You might not even be able to see this, how tiny it is. But this is a Samsung SD card, 128 gig. So this I just put in my adapter. So this comes with the Samsung. So if you buy the Samsung SD card, this comes with it. So I put it in my Canon camera. So that's what's inside. This exact thing is inside my camera that I'm recording on right now. But I had bought all my SD cards while I had Samsung. Then I realized I got another camera and I was like, uh-oh. But it worked perfectly fine because, again, like I said, Samsung gives you an adapter if you do use a different device. I love having a 128 gigabyte SD card. I'm not somebody who feels like you need to buy 1,000 SD cards. I do not at all feel that you need to buy multiple SD cards. I think if you have 2 128 gig SD cards, maybe 3, and that's pushing it, because I record a lot and I get away with just 2 128 gigabyte SD cards. You're gonna need something high capacity. They make SD cards 8 gig, they make them 16, 32, 64. Why start low? I know they're cheaper, but just go ahead and bite the bullet, I say, and get the 128 or even higher than 128. I think 256 is probably the next highest. Get the highest that you can so that you can record multiple things on one SD card without having to, okay, what's on this SD card? I used to have tons of SD cards, and I probably actually still have tons. Let me check my bag. Yep, I got a bag of literal SD cards right here. One is a 32 gig, one is an 8 gig, one is a 16 gig. Again, multiple SD cards. When nowadays, when I've upgraded to just having 128 gig SD cards, it made life so much simpler, because again, having all these SD cards is really null and void if you do have one that has a lot of storage. And also in my little bag, I have my third backup battery. Again, it's important to have the battery that's recording in your phone right now. I always have a battery charging, and I have a battery that has already charged, because again, you never know when the opportunity is going to spring up, or you come up with another video idea while you're filming one video. That's how some things work for me. Sometimes I have impromptu decisions that come up, and sometimes they happen to be some of my highest grossing videos. So you want to be prepared to have that battery life for when the occasion calls, when you have a random idea video. And my most watched ever video on this channel is a video that I did not plan at all. Very impromptu, random video that I just shot and filmed, and it's what really grew and took my channel off. So never underestimate just a random thought that comes in your mind. Now the next thing you're going to need is a tripod. And you're probably like, how do you have your tripod? And that should answer the question if you just saw that fall off. How do you have your tripod that you're filming on, but also a tripod in your hand? I have had this tripod twice. I've bought the tripod that I have twice. So this is the exact thing that I'm filming on right now. Same color, same everything. I just reordered from my Amazon purchase. Again, I broke one. So if you saw the top fall off, I had broke this one. Actually, I think 2 years into the game. So I rebought it. Haven't had any issues. It was really my fault. This was just up. It tumbled on the ground, hit the ground hard. I was concrete. I was filming outside. Luckily, my camera wasn't on it, but it just toppled over, fell on concrete. Right now, I'm on carpet, so I'm in a way better position than I was. So it's not a bad quality at all. Very affordable. I do not think you need to spend $40, $50 on a tripod. I honestly do not believe that. Again, I'm somebody who has grown and spent, what, $20, less than $20 on a tripod. I don't know how much this costs, but it's very affordable. Again, this broke, but it's through no fault of the tripod itself. It's owner's fault. It's the owner's fault for this. Mentioning tripods, I do have a handheld tripod as well. So I use this. I don't take the big standard tripod with me when I'm going places. I do take a travel tripod. Again, another thing I got from Amazon, you just kind of take this off, and then you attach your camera to this. So this is my travel tripod. It helps with stabilization. Again, if you are vlogging, you could of course hold this camera as normal. I could hold this in my hand, but I realized when watching my content back, when I would do vlogs, my hand was very shaky. I had very shaky hands, and I wasn't trying. It didn't feel like when I was recording the videos that my hand was going like this. It didn't feel that way at all. But the cameras are so sensitive that they pick up any little movement. Anything you can do to help stabilize it. Again, that's why I'm filming on a tripod right now. It's stationary. Same thing goes with when you're vlogging. Even though when you're vlogging and you're just holding a camera, it may not at all feel like you're shaking, but you watch that footage back again and you're like, oh, I'm moving a lot. Anything that can help to stabilize, I think, is a great thing. So again, this tripod goes with me. If you've watched any of my cruise vlogs, anything like that, this is what I'm holding. And again, I'm trying very hard to hold it very still when I'm recording my vlog, but it does help me a little bit so that even the slightest movements aren't really captured. And I have noticed a good difference in my vlog. Now, something I just started using that changed the game for me. I mean, completely changed the game for me in the sense that I look at the last 4 years of my content and I kind of weep a little bit on the inside that I didn't have this, and it just was a minute change that 100% changed the game for me. And I'm going to be very careful to pick it up right now. It's my microphone. Attached to me right now is a microphone, and sitting in my lap right now is my iPad, which is recording this audio that you are hearing right now, this lovely audio. I just started using a microphone in September of 2020. So every single video that I have recorded prior to September of 2020, so the last 4 years really of me creating content, I did not use a microphone. I didn't think there was a big deal because I never got comments, never got complaints, and nobody ever said anything about the quality of my audio and my content. Everybody just went with it. I'm going to turn off this microphone right now, or not turn it off, but I'm going to film, and what you're going to hear next from me is going to be from the camera. So right now you're hearing me speak from the camera. You're hearing the audio that my voice is carrying to the camera and making, you know, the noise that you're hearing right now. Do you notice a difference? You should 100% notice a difference between what you're hearing right now and what you're hearing right now. What you heard prior is what I sounded like for 4 years. I know I get a lot of comments from people that I'm being hard on myself when I, you know, say, oh man, I wish I changed this earlier. But I truly feel like I wish I changed it and put a microphone way sooner. Not to say I would have been higher in my subs at all. I think 90,000 people decided to rock with me when my audio sounded like what it just sounded like. But for me, I'm always questioning, well, could I have been at 130,000? Could I have been at 140,000? Are there people who clicked off my video because of what they heard? And again, I'm sure there aren't a lot, but I'm sure there are some. If you guys out there watching my video, even if you just started or if you're 2 years in the game, get yourself a microphone. Especially if you use a camera like me, the Canon G7X Mark II. This does not have a part where I can attach the external mic. So, you know, some places you can put a Rode mic on. Do yourself a favor, attach some kind of mic, you know, do something so that your audio can definitely sound a lot better. You will thank me later for this. It's changed the game for me tremendously in the fact that I feel better about my audio quality. It might not change anything analytically. I might not gain 1,000 subscribers overnight because of it. But for me, I feel more confident when the quality of the content that I'm putting out is actually, you know, not subpar. So this mic I bought from Amazon actually 2 years ago. I've had this mic maybe 2-3 years ago. Whenever I started doing voiceovers for videos, so whenever I have videos where I do voiceovers, those makeup videos, hair videos more recently, I always had this mic for voiceovers, but I never used it as a mic for my content. Now, again, starting to use it as an actual mic. And what I realized is the camera doesn't know what audio to pick up. It knows I'm speaking right now, but if something happens in the background, it's going to pick that up too. This is more functioning as a me mic. And again, I realized more recently with my getting a dog, I got a dog May 2020, so you could even hear her very slightly in the background beforehand. And I was like, man, it's picking her up. But I have to remember, again, the camera doesn't know what to focus on. It doesn't have a focus on it to say, hey, take in the audio from this girl. No, it's going to take in the outside audio. It's going to take in my dog's audio. It's going to take in any slight movement, the air conditioning turning on, the refrigerator dropping ice. It's going to catch all of that because it doesn't know what to hone in on. This microphone is telling it to hone in on me. And I like that. And it's very much so been helpful. And again, just to comment on the thing that's recording me right now is my iPad. Had this iPad ever since starting my channel. I recorded on an iPad. It was the iPad 3. I do have the iPad 4. And this is what I edit on. This is what I edit every video that you've ever seen on my channel on. It's been an iPad. I have never, ever used a computer to edit anything. I don't know Final Cut Pro. I don't know iMovie for Mac. I don't own a Mac laptop. I don't know Adobe, whatever. I just know editing on my iPad. The app I use is LumaFusion. If you guys want a tutorial on LumaFusion, I'm happy to do so. But it's an app that I bought September of 2017, I believe. Maybe even before that. Because prior I was using the iMovie app on your iPad, which is okay. It was standard. It got me through. Definitely got me through for probably almost upwards of a year. But I bought LumaFusion. It was like 20 bucks at the time. Worth it. It's paid for itself. I make over $20 a day just in AdSense alone. So again, it paid for itself in one day, and it was a one-time purchase. I don't have to pay for everything every single day. And again, it's got me 90,000 subscribers. $20 got me to where I am. People out here spending hundreds and thousands for Final Cut and all this and having all these added effects. But what I've learned is if you have engaging content, the effects won't matter, the graphics won't matter, the text boxes won't matter. People are coming for you. Editing on an iPad, which I would have an iPad regardless of if I had a channel or not. I had an iPad because I wanted an iPad. I just happened to upgrade my iPad because I needed more gigs. My original iPad was 32 gigs, and the fact that I was filming on it and editing on it was getting a little too much, so that's why I upgraded to the 4, and I do have 128 gigs, which sometimes gets a little too low for me now, but it does the job well. I don't have any immediate plans to upgrade. I do want an iPad eventually, a regular bigger screen iPad eventually, just because I feel like my eyes looking at a small screen could go bad sometimes, so just expanding that. But again, love my iPad mini for my editing. And then the question I always get following when I address that I use an iPad for filming, how do you get your content from your camera to your iPad? Very simple, very simple. I have this adapter, which all I do, put the SD card that I'm using, or the content that I want to transfer over, and then I just insert it to the bottom. So where you put your charger, when you're charging your iPad, your device, your Apple product, just put it at the bottom. Then you go to your Photos app. On the right side, there's a little prompt that says import. And so you can look through every photo that's on your camera, on your SD card, and you can say, hey, I want this to transfer over, and you just transfer it over. It's very, very simple to do, very cheap item. I did used to use this adapter, which is an adapter that goes for your camera. You know, this is the adapter for my camera. At the time, this is my Samsung adapter, so it would connect in through the camera. Then I would connect it to this adapter, and again, the same process. I would connect this to my Apple device. It's just that this got short. It got a short in it, and I just was like, I don't want to buy it again, so I got the SD card one. I think the SD card one works way better, but again, I think it was just because this had a short in it, which is why I was so frustrated with it towards the end, having to wiggle it the right way. Haven't had any problems with the SD adapter. Now the next thing, lights. I always get questions about lights. What lighting do I use? For the last 4 years, sun has been my light. I did buy a ring light, and I do have a ring light on the picture of it right now. I don't currently have it in my home. It's in storage now. But I realized the sun, nothing beats the sun for me on my content. I'm not making extraordinarily extravagant videos, so I don't really need that ring light. It was a good buy. I don't regret purchasing it, and there were some times when it would rain extremely hard. It would be extremely cloudy days, and I would have to use it, but I would always look back at that content and not be as proud of it as with my natural light. So behind me right now is the sun. There's no lighting system behind me. I have in the past bought umbrella lights as well. Of course, there's no umbrella on it. I realized the umbrella wasn't really doing anything for me, so I took the umbrella part off of it. It's a 3-part lighting system. This is just one part of it. I had this too. I have used this more recently because my DIY curtains video. The curtains video, the light is behind me, so the sun is behind me coming through the windows. So the camera wanted to focus in on the sun. I had to give the camera something else in front of me to kind of counterbalance that. But again, that's a video that's not shot in my normal setting, and it just made sense for me to use my lighting. Again, you do not have to have a $100,000, $100,000, nobody's spending that much, but it might be lighting system. You don't need that, spend that much. Again, I'm saying everything, and I'm saying in the vein that I've gotten to 90,000 subscribers through the things that I've talked about, through the items that I'm talking about, and lighting. The sun has done me no wrong. I do, again, bulk film on the weekends. So typically, whatever week it is, so say it's the beginning of the week, Monday, and I'm planning what I'm going to film, I'll do look at the 7-day forecast to see whether Sunday or Saturday is going to be more sunny. Sometimes it's just a rain out weekend, and it's a bummer of a weekend, and I'm just like, ugh. But I will look and see, hey, is there like one pocket of time, like 1 p.m., where it's going to be sunny, and then I try to focus on that. I've been very lucky and very fortunate in the sense that I don't think we have that many rain out weekends, and if we do, it luckily falls on a weekend where I wasn't filming anyways, and I'm sitting in bed with chili anyway. So there are sometimes I can take 2 weeks off without filming and not feel bad about it because I have so much bulk content filmed. Like I'm filming 2 videos today. Last week I filmed 4 videos. The week before that I filmed 4 videos. I have enough content filmed. Again though, there are some people out there who do have to film Monday through Friday, have to film after work, have to film after kids are down, which means the sun is 100% down by that point. You don't have that luxury, and I understand having to buy lighting systems. So if you do, I do 100% recommend you do get a lighting system, but I do say if you can and have sun, just try to aim for sun because nothing beats just the glistening of the sun and the naturalness that the sun can bring. And last but not least, background. I know there used to be a big push to get some kind of, black paper, white paper, some fancy sparkly background back in the day. I 100% feel like today and now times, natural background reigns supreme. Having a natural background does look so good. Now I have fallen into the trap and I've bought some things from Amazon. So in one video, I think it's literally only one, I do have this black background that I bought from Amazon. Didn't like how it looked. I don't feel natural when I'm filming against something that isn't natural to my home. If you notice my first 2-3 years of this channel, 2.5 years, I filmed on my stairs. I love the stair videos. I got so much engagement on those videos. So many people related to me because it felt like you're talking to a friend who's just sitting at the bottom of her steps, just having a conversation with you. And then I moved to a foyer area, which again, natural background. And now I sit in my beauty room facing kind of where I work every single day. And you guys are just seeing the naturalness. I think people love that now. You see Jackie Aina's videos. She has a natural background more now. Erin on Demand, one of my favorite YouTubers, natural background, just a normal setting. There is no held up things. And even in beauty videos, people could be like, well, I make beauty videos. I have to have kind of a sequin background or, you know, a white thing. You really, really don't. Kira Sean, one of my favorite wig YouTubers, has just her bed. And it makes me want to have that farmhouse style home, just looking at her bed and her room and everything in there. Again, you feel more relatable when you have more of a natural setting as opposed to a more done up studio type set dynamic, if that makes sense. You know, there are YouTubers who have that. James Charles, again, huge YouTuber, who has that set. I think the people I relate to, I don't relate to a James Charles, but you know, some of you guys might. Me, I relate to those people that I've mentioned earlier. Erin on Demand, Jackie Aina, K. Rashawn, when I see them in their natural setting. So again, don't feel like you have to. And again, I'm somebody, again, who got to a pretty decent number. I'm about to be at 6 digits, y'all. We about to be at 6 digits soon. I got to this level without having all the theatrics. And I hope this video showed you that today, that you can get to an adequate amount of subscribers without spending a lot of money, without having to ball out of control. And again, some people could be like, well, I want to ball out of control, and that's fine. But YouTube shouldn't be a struggle. It shouldn't be a financial burden. You know, these are tax write-offs. You can write off a lot. When you spend a lot, you can write off a lot, but I don't spend a lot. So tax time is always a burden for me because I don't spend a lot of money. So the double-edged sword of being cheap is that, you know, Uncle Sam always comes to collect at the end of the day. But I have enjoyed these last 4 years. Thank you so much for the 90,000 of you guys out there who have joined me, and thank you so much for the ones who continue to pile in day by day. You are very much so appreciated. So I hope this video was very helpful. If it was, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Even if it wasn't, still give it a big thumbs up. We want all the love and support over here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of my content. I bought this subscribe button from Amazon too. Again, Amazon has it all. I don't know if they still have it. I recently tried to look it up, but if they do, I will link it down below. Make sure that you guys are following me on Instagram at LeilaLaVon89 so you can keep up with my content in real time, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Follow me, I go give you all of me, all of me. I'm on to show, say she moving to the base.